Hi everyone, I'm Maureen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to sew McCall's 8604. This is a new PDF only pattern from the new fall collection. We're going to be making view A together, so go ahead and grab your sewing tools, grab your pattern, cut all your pieces out, and let's get started. And as you're cutting out your pattern pieces, I do want to let you know that we will not be using our serger or finishing any seams in this video. I know that's something that I often share in my videos. However, with this specific pattern, it is a lined pattern, so you do not have to finish your seams. However, if you want to, that is completely up to you.
Okay, so first things first, you're going to take pattern pieces 3 and 4, and I've labeled them since they're so similar in size. So this is the front and this is the back, and the back is pattern piece number 4 and the front is pattern piece number 3. So right sides together, we are going to attach these on the straight edge right here, matching up those notches. We are going to take this to our sewing machine and sew this down at 5/8.
Go ahead and press your seams once you are finished.
Okay, so following the pleat arrows on your pattern pieces 3 and 4, go ahead and add in your pleats. Now I've already put notches in where the solid and the broken lines were on the pattern, and so now I'm just going to connect those lines. Just like that. And I'm going to do this on the front and on the back. All right, so go ahead and take pattern piece number 6, and you should have a really wide dart there, and we are going to sew up our dart at our machine. Okay, so take this to your sewing machine and sew your dart legs down.
Give your dart leg a good press and head back to your table.
Once you've given this a good press, go ahead and attach your pattern pieces 5 and 6 on that straight edge, and then stitch this down at 5/8 at your machine.
Press your seams once you are finished.
All right, now you're going to take patterns 5 and 6, which are already connected, and place them right sides together with pattern pieces 3 and 4. And you'll connect this at this middle seam right here and pin along this bottom curve edge. Take this to your sewing machine and sew it at 3/8 of an inch. Bring those two pattern pieces with wrong sides together, press this bottom edge, and then we are going to baste the raw edges at the very top curve together at our machine. Once you basted the edge here, set this to the side, and now we're going to work on pattern piece number 1. So we are going to stay stitch the curved edge or the curved neckline, and then on the wrong side, go ahead and pin your darts just like we did for the sash. Okay, so once you have stay stitch your neck edge and your darts, go ahead and take pattern piece number 2 and stay stitch the neckline as well. And right sides together, we are going to stitch this down at 5/8 at our machine. Okay, now open up your bodice pieces so that way you see your front facing you, or you see the right side facing you, I should say. And then take this pattern piece and right side facing you, wrong side to the right side of the bodice, you are going to attach this. So you should really see those really beautiful pleats facing you, and as you can see, I have like the F and the B to indicate the front and the back. So if you did the same thing, you should see the F and the B facing you as well. Machine, and starting at the shoulders, we're going to baste this and baste all the way down across the necklines and through the other shoulder, just like that. All right, so once you basted down this drape, go ahead and put your pattern pieces right sides together, and we are going to pin and sew through all thicknesses. If you have bulky fabric like me, this is like a Mikado, I am going to widen my stitch length and go carefully over this, especially because the drapey area is very bulky. So go ahead and do that right now. We are going to leave this side open because this is where we plan to add our zipper.
Once you finish this step, set this to the side and grab your lining pieces for your bodice.
So go ahead and stay stitch your neckline on your lining pieces, and then also add in your darts on your lining pieces for the front bodice. And then we are going to attach it on the downward slope side, just like how we did our outer pieces. To your sewing machine and sew it down at 5/8.
After sewing down that side seam, take your shoulder strap pieces and connect those right sides together. And just like how we did with our outer pieces, you are going to sew this down at 5/8 at our machine.
All right, so take your outer piece and your lining piece, and we're gonna put these right sides together. So this is my front that I'm matching up with my front. And right now, the only thing I'm going to worry about is pinning the armhole. Take this to your sewing machine and sew it at 5/8, and then clip in the notches as well.
Once you have clipped those notches into the curve, go ahead and press your lining pieces all the way to the lining side, and we're going to get ready to understitch this at our machines. Now this is what it should look like. So now we are going to move on to basting our lining pieces of our neck edge to the outer pieces of our neck edge. So we're gonna take some pins or some clips and pin the raw edges together, and then we are going to baste this together at our machine. Set these pieces to the side so that we can work on our skirt.
Okay, so go ahead and take your skirt pieces, pattern piece number 9, and go ahead and stay stitch going towards the center of the skirt, and then go ahead and do your darts as well.
So now we are going to work on sewing up our skirt. So take your pattern pieces right sides together, and on the left side between the dot and the notch, we are going to sew between those two spaces. On the top edge of your skirt where your waistline is, that is going to be where your zipper goes. On the bottom edge of where your skirt is, that is where your split is going to be. We are going to sew a stitch at 5/8 between those two pins on the left side. Now going to the other side of the skirt, this is going to be one long stitch. So you are going to pin all the way from the top of the skirt all the way to the bottom of the skirt, and take this to your machine and sew it at 5/8.
All right, so once your skirt is done, go ahead and turn it right side out. And we have our bodice piece here, and we are going to connect these two pieces. So make sure that you're using the front. As you can see, you can kind of see that faded F on mine for the front. But we are going to pin this all the way around the top of the skirt.
Take this to your sewing machine and sew it at 5/8. Once you complete this step, set this to the side and we're going to work on our skirt lining pieces.
Okay, now go ahead and create your darts and stay stitch the top edge of your lining skirt. And we are going to sew the lining skirt the same way, going straight down at 5/8 on one side and then stitching between the notch and the dot on the opposite side. Once you're done with your lining skirt, go ahead and take your bodice lining and move the rest of your dress out of the way. So really we're only paying attention to the bottom edge of our dress lining at this point, or our bodice lining. Turn your skirt, your lining skirt piece, right side out, right sides together, making sure that you're putting your openings with your openings and your notches with your notches. We are going to pin the skirt lining, or the skirt, to the bodice. So go ahead and sew all the way around the lining pieces. So now we are going to work on installing our zipper. This is a 22-inch invisible zipper. This is really long, so I'm probably going to end up cutting mine, but you should have a long one so that way it goes through the bodice and into the skirt. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to unzip this. Make sure that it works up and down, just like this. And then we're going to move our lining out of the way on the dress. So working with just one side, we are going to match up our teeth. Now this space here where there's no teeth, we're going to put that right up against the top edge, just like this. We're going to take this to our machine and we're going to baste this down first, and then we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so now that the zipper is attached, go ahead and zip it down. And we're actually going to pull our lining back out. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but it's going to be so pretty once it's done. So we're going to have to enclose some of this invisible zipper. So tuck this part away from the lining, because you want that lip or that edge to be out of sight when you're wearing it right side out. And now we are going to clip all of these pieces together and sandwich the zipper between the teeth. And take this to your sewing machine, and making sure that the teeth are out of the way, stitch down your lining for the zipper.
Once you're done, go ahead and clip in those corners. That way it's a nice smooth corner when you turn it right side out. And this is exactly what it should look like.
So this is what everything should look like once you are done attaching the lining. So now we're going to work on attaching our lining to our open split. So first, go ahead and unzip, turn your dress right side out, and then unzip it all the way down. Then turn your dress with the lining completely inside out. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see that hole from the zipper where we stopped earlier. You're going to see that with the open lining. So go ahead and put some pins there, because we're actually going to close that up now. Okay, and then this section here, which is actually the top of our split, we are going to begin attaching our lining right here. And your lining piece is going to be a little bit shorter than your outer piece based on how you cut it. We're going to stitch this close, and then starting at the top of our split, stitch it down.
After stitching this together, go ahead and press your split and then begin understitching those pattern pieces together.
All right, so go ahead and give your your split a nice press, and then it should lay really nice and flat. And you can go ahead and finish your hem as well. Now we are going to start working on the last steps, which is attaching our facing to the front piece, or attaching our facing to the top. All right, go ahead and sew at the short ends, pattern pieces 7 and 8 together, and then open those seams up. And then you're gonna grab your dress and you are going to pin this around the neckline, matching up notches and side seams.
Stitch this down at 5/8 at your machine. After you complete stitching this down, go ahead and clip in those curves, and then we are going to understitch this facing. You can also go the extra mile and stitch in the ditch on the side seams like I'm doing here. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and share button, and also leave a comment down below. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.